Good afternoon, people. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. This is Spirit Journey, and today is Good Afternoon Saturday. Saturday afternoon. It is April 2nd, 2022, and the time is 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, that's my little girl, Lily. Yeah, Lily de Havanese. That's Lavender. And my little peanut there, that is Lilac. Yes, welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, I haven't done a video this time of day in a long time. I usually do my early mornings. Yeah, this morning I just kind of just took it easy. And yeah, I'm in my room still. I had a late breakfast. I had my comfort food and fed the dogs and everything. I just gave the dogs their little treats. So everything should be good and we shouldn't have too much interference. So let me begin. Yeah, my health feels pretty good. Yeah, I stayed in today. I didn't go out. It was cold outside. It was in the 30s. And I just didn't want to risk it, you know, um, getting over that bug that I had. And just want to take it easy on my body. So, I want to talk about a few things. I want to talk about this dream I had and about trust and about God and faith and who are we to put our trust in. Yes, good afternoon in the chat room. Yes, good afternoon, welcome. Yeah, I'm just getting started. Yeah, I'm just want to talk about all these things and try to put everything together about the dream I had and about trust and God and where do we all fit in here? And I feel a little irritated. It's like your mind is like you're questioning things. You know, it's good to question things. And with the dream I had, yes, hello visitors. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yeah. So I think it represents something. The dream that I had, and I want to share with you and how it ties in with about God, religion, and again, you know, your faith system uh, is something that's it's what you choose for yourself. Whatever what empowers you, you keep it. Whatever what serves you, you serve it. Okay, but I just want to share with you my perspective. Um, so the dream that I had, um, I never had a dream like this before. And I feel that it's showing about what's happening inside me, that the lion is wakening up. And I wonder whether the lion or lioness is waking up in you. I don't remember the details, but what I do remember is that I was in a room with somebody. It was another woman. Um, I don't remember what led up to it, but it was a confrontation that we had, and um, she was a smaller person than me. I mean, she was shorter. She could have been an African woman or West Indian type, a black West Indian type. Just you know, she didn't look like a North American woman. She kind of looked familiar, and she was provoking me. And growing up, I felt intimidated by some of the women in my environment. Some through intimidation, some just want to provoke. And she was like that symbol, I think. And I think in the past I would have just kind of cowered and just kind of try to avoid the situation. But this dream, I said, I'm going to challenge this. Uh, I remember me saying in the dream, I said, uh, let's go there. Let's go there, Um, and I challenged her. I said, you want to fight? Then let's do it. And we started fighting, fist fighting. Um, and I defended myself. I said, I'm not going to let this woman uh, get the best of me, and I'm going to stand my ground. And that's what the theme was for me. I'm not a violent person. I don't look for fights. I avoid. I avoid confrontation as much as possible during my life. But interesting that this dream, I just felt I had to say no. I said to myself, enough is enough. And I had to say, you're doing this to me. You obviously are trying to press my buttons. If you really want to fight, then let's do it. Sometimes in life, people, you may get to a point where you are going to be challenged. And, if they really want to get a fight in, well, maybe you should give it to them, And even like the movie, the Jason Bourne series, the guy that was worked for the agency, and they tricked him into joining the organization. He was pretty much a hired, mercenary, if you want, to say it nicely. And what was being done was completely illegal. But he had an awakening. He was put under what they call the MK Ultra. He had lost his memory at one of the assignments he was sent out to do. And he almost dies. And he's saved, but he has amnesia. And in one of the Jason Bourne series, there were 5 series, 5 movies. And I think it was the very last of the 5 series, he said that he has to end it. See, he had gained his memory, and he had met people along the way that helped him get to the point where he was at. And he set out to get to the root of the situation, who originated the whole charade in his life. And he just wanted to make it better for himself. He apologized to those who he could apologize to, but he was after the kingpin. And he does eventually achieve his goal. And at the end of the series, he had a fist fight with the person who had killed his father in the movie. It was a bloody battle, boy. And he wins. And so life is like telling us, the guy in the movie, he was in the military. Of course, it said he was a captain. He had abilities, and his abilities were exploited. Do you ever feel exploited? We all have innate qualities in us. And sometimes people who are higher up, who have access to technologies, resources, and they scout around and they target individuals to do things on their behalf, and they don't even realize it. And that's what happened with the Jason Bourne series, movies. They came out some years ago. And I was watching that over the week. I bought the series on was it iTunes a couple of years back, but I just had to put all the pieces together. I watched them many, many, many times, and I watched it all this week. And then I finally understood. Yeah, it's all in layers. See, awareness comes in layers of revelation. It doesn't come like in blow, one shot. Especially if you've walked in darkness, darkness of ignorance. I mean, not darkness being bad, but we start off like some of us start off like in a void. You have amnesia, so to speak. You don't know what has transpired, but you feel the residuals in your life. It gets manifested. You start to wonder why you might be treated certain ways by people. You may wonder why people on your job may not like you. You may wonder why maybe family members don't like you. You may wonder why your neighbors treat you a certain way, why you just feel like you just don't fit. Again, you like an amnesia. What is going on? And then like Jason Bourne, it is revealed to him in stages in his life, and then when he got to the end, he had to face the demon, and there was a battle. And it was a battle to the death. And I felt like the dream that I had was like a battle to the death. Now, I didn't, in the dream, it wasn't to that level, but it was a fight. Like I said, I'm not going to back down anymore. And I think that's what's happening within me, that I'm trying to say to myself, no more. I don't want any more of this nonsense. I hope you guys are hearing me. Please let me know if you can hear me okay. Give me feedback. So how is this with religion and stuff? Well, I was watching some other programs today over YouTube. I love watching YouTube. I do watch it too much, I think, but I do enjoy it. It is addictive. It is a tool, and anything could be abused. I have to modify it, but I did watch some programs today. And not to mention names or anything like that, but I just want to express what the situation reminds me of. There was a person I was watching who talked about certain aspects of their life. And it was about believing them. Now, the person is very charismatic, and anointed, and natural anointing on their lives. Their abilities, their natural born leader. And I watched them over, a couple of years. And you know what could happen, people? Let's say you're trying to move forward in life. And you may even hook up with someone. And, people could become jealous of you. They're surrounding you. They may smile at you, but they're not your friends. And she was revealing that. that um, she was talking she was talking indirectly, and she felt that wow, that through her journey, she had a life journey. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you, I appreciate that. She was revealing some emotions that here she presents herself, and someone was behind the scenes, and they were slandering this person, getting people against them. And so it's like she's taken the initiative. She says, I'm going to let them know. And it's almost like a ministry for her to bring people into awareness. To bring people to awareness of that, see, the times now are getting very, very, you watch the signs of the times. And there's a lot of chaos going around in the media, governments, and people are on edge. Yeah, I believe, I believe that there are things that are mounting itself, that's positioning itself. And it is a war, it is a battle. It's a battle for your attention, because when they get your attention, then they can manipulate you. No, stay up there. My little doggy wants to jump. Come on. Stay. Stay there. Say, Mommy Bear. Yeah, you stay there. Sorry. Yeah, you stay there. That was Lavender, my Pekingese. Okay. But yes, the stage is being set, people. And the stage it's like an army that's setting up, or a game of chess. And the little pawns, the little pieces on the board are being positioned strategically. Some of those pieces on the chessboard is to distract you, while the others are to cause havoc somewhere else. And that's what I think, in my opinion, what's going on in part. And it's happening so many levels. It's happening in our personal lives. You have people around you, and you're trying to move forward in life, and then when you try to move forward, it's like, wow, what's going on? I'm doing all these things in my power, but I'm not moving forward. Why is this? What was suggested in the video I was watching was that, there's what they call, how do you say? So I don't want to use the term witchcraft, but you have people in high places, and they have assignments. They have assignments based on different domains. You have people who are in charge of different domains out there, domains of power. The domains could be in your home. Don't you notice in some homes it's like, who's on so-and-so side and who's on that side? Or relatives could be gang up on each other, different factions. Or let's say on your job, factions on your job. Who's behind so-and-so? Who's going to support so-and-so? Who's going to, and so on and so on. So you see that the game of chess are played on different levels. It's not just one board. There are many boards. There's one by your feet, then there's one by your knee, then there's another one by the hip, and then you have many others that are above your head. And these game of chess is happening simultaneously. It's not just a one game. There are multiple games that are being played right now in your life on many different levels. And I was listening to that YouTuber today, and I started to cry because I understood what they were talking about, and my own doubts with this person. They have a dynamic gift, but it's like I don't know what to believe or who to believe, because sometimes, in our zealousness, we all have our weaknesses, people. We all do. It's like you have a nice, delicious, soft drink, but it has a turd in it, and you cannot drink it. So, you give the person another chance. You just empty out the glass, clean it, and then maybe put another soft drink in it. You know what I'm saying? You give it another chance. Well, sometimes people, see, you have the gremlins behind the scenes, and they could be actually putting the turd in the drink and not the person that you're looking at. Because, see, we all have blind spots, and they rely on your blind spot to do the deception over your life, over your neighborhood. And they distract you. They could distract you with things that you love. And once they get your attention through the distraction, that's when they come in. And so maybe like this person that I saw, that maybe all along that they were being sabotaged, and not the person itself. And it's so weird because, see, I shared with the person, these things that I'm telling you right now to them because I wanted them to know. Because I like what she was saying. Because what she was saying, the words behind it had a lot of truth in it. But that I felt that I needed to tell her because I had doubt in them. Because I had stopped watching at some time their channel. But what's interesting about it, which really opens my eyes about the concept of, when you were blind about a certain matter, and something had distracted you and was behind the scenes sabotaging. The person I had stopped watching a particular channel at one time. And then I saw, maybe a year went past, and then I started thinking about that person, and then I found their channel. And I think it was that day when I went on that person's channel, to watch, they specifically mentioned, see, they something happened to their channel. Their channel was being, sometimes when you get a strike, a YouTube strike, they hold your channel, and it could have happened for months. It could have been, I'm not definitive, but it could have been blocked for a couple of months, her channel, and then they allowed it to come on again. And when I saw the person's channel was when they just put it back on. And then they shared about a particular thing. It was so specific, and it was the reason why I stopped watching. And I was embarrassed at the truth behind a word, because that was the specific reason. I never said anything about it. It was just something that I felt inside that I didn't understand. And they hit it on the head. Not that I never spoke with the person, but they were just sharing something in their video about coming back on board the YouTube. And I said to myself, oh wow, I was embarrassed that the person had the insight or was perceptive enough about what could have been going on in her videos, which was probably to distract the audience. And I'm no different than anybody. I'm nothing special. And I would I gathered that if I felt that way, others felt that way and may have done the same thing. And when she came back on board, she felt it necessary to share. And something like that happened um, recent, maybe 3 years ago, of a similar nature of, outside of the, social media. Someone had shared something with me. And when they told me, it just sounded kind of bizarre. Okay? Truth is more bizarre than fiction. The person shared something with me. And I just kept, yeah, type of thing in the back of my mind. And then an event happens. I had to go to a function twice. And the person I was with, twice, the two separate occasions happened at each time. And they were making mention of the person that told me something very bizarre. When the event was over, I know I'm talking a little vague, but that the fact that it was revealed that what the woman had told me, the bizarre statement, was true about the accusation. So her fear was valid. Okay, let me just say, the fear that the woman shared with me was valid, extremely valid. And it was something that was unprovoked on my part, and it was just seemed to be a random chance that these people that I met made mention, validating the lady's statement. And after the event, this person in question that shared the thing with me contacts me and is frantic. And how they came across was, I felt inappropriate, tacky. And it scared me because, see, even though the person is acting erratic, but their behavior was based on something that it was so intuitive. See, sometimes when you become so sensitive, you develop an intuition, such a strong intuition that if you even share a glimpse, a fragment of this truth, people will think you're crazy. Let me repeat. That if you share just a fraction of what you know on a situation that just seems to be at random, you will be perceived as crazy. And rather than, it was unexpected of this person getting in contact with me to share with me what she repeated. And it was almost, I was embarrassed to hear what was being said. I never let on of what I had experienced in those two prior meetings with somebody, just by chance that they were there. And again, I don't even know, I only knew one of the people. All the others I had never met, know nothing about them. It was just a chance that they were there. There are things, people, that you have people who belong to I guess, you have organizations, you have maybe even neighborhoods that have witches or something in them. I know that's a strong word. See, there's nothing wrong with someone, a man or woman, practicing the arts. What I'm talking about is when you have individuals who seek out people to destroy for whatever reason and do things occultic behind their back and set out to destroy them. That is what I'm talking about. That is wicked. And when I saw wickedness for what it was, it scared me. Well, I'm getting warm now. It scared me. It's just something that the person intuition or insight was so right on it that I got afraid of even her. I never told the person what happened. I felt that it was wisdom not to say anything because, see, it could escalate. Sometimes it's better not to say anything because if said, it could trigger other retaliatory events and it could spill over into your backyard. So better sometimes don't say anything and remove yourself from the situation. And that's how I handled it. I had to remove myself from the situation. But the person was 200% right. To this day, it doesn't make any real sense to me. But just the fact, but what it taught me was that you could be innocent of a matter, but just because you may be related in some way to a person, no matter how minute, you could be a target. Do you understand what I'm saying? That you can be a target of somebody else's activity. You have no involvement whatsoever. But because of some link or perceived link, they will attack you. And that's what I saw. And that's why I decided, do not say anything and just stay away. Yeah, things could really, wow. So life is like, so with that life, you never really know what's behind the door until you might be innocently walking and it affect your life. And you say, my, what in the world did I do to deserve this? What did I do? Yeah, there's a battle out there on many, many levels, and many levels of chess that's being played right now. But I would say to stand in your own integrity. Do the best you can. We are all a work in progress. All of us is a work in progress. But if you know that you stood your ground, you stood into what you represent for yourself, your own personal integrity, then you know you're a winner. It's to do something that you really don't believe in because of peer pressure, that's sad. But to stand up for what you really believe in, even if it could mean your life or your personal wellness, you know, you have to come to that decision. Make the right decision for yourself. And this spiritual life, this spiritual journey, is a personal one for all of us. And it's something that you have to walk in it alone. You may have to walk in it alone. You may not be able to trust the person next to you. So, trust has to be earned. trust has to be earned. That's something else I noticed. I used to belong to different social things. I used to roller skate. And I was thinking about I felt a little edgy thinking about it. Because sometimes, like, when you go through life, they're just like pieces of a puzzle. And they're all thrown around, you know? And then one day, the pieces all come together and it forms a picture. And you didn't know that it looked like that. That's what the picture was. And I was thinking, I said, oh my goodness, could that have been what I thought? Well, could that have been what it could be? You could have in communities, such as like I used to do the roller skating in Central Park. And you know what came to me when the pieces were coming together this morning? I said, I think it was being infiltrated by outsiders. You have people who infiltrate organizations, churches, clubs, no matter how informal it might be. This was a very informal thing that I used to go to. There was no bylaws or membership cards. It was just something, hey, you like skating? Hey, bring your skates, you're a member. Real informal. I met a person that, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But I said, wait a minute. Why were they there? You had a person, most of these people were people of, Black or West Indian or Hispanic background. But you had someone from outside of those communities. And they were actually even living, they rented a room with a person, a woman, elderly Black woman in Harlem. They had pretty much anybody's trust. I hope I'm wrong, but the theme is what I'm talking about. The theme, the essence of what I'm talking about is the theme, not so much that person, but it had me thinking that you could belong to something, whether formal or informal, and that your group could be infiltrated. Somehow they're in the middle of everything. They volunteer for everything. They're very reliable. They may even make things for people. So you trust them. And I start to wonder, I started asking myself, I said, if it were the reverse, could someone like myself or West Indian people, African people, or Hispanics, could they do the same? Could they say, hey, I want to find out about so-and-so's organization. I'm going to go move right in the middle in their community. I'm going to go into their playground. I'm going to, you hear what I'm getting at. Why are we so open? Could you hear me, people? Why are we so open to let anybody in our inner circle without really knowing them? Why? Could we do the same? Could I go into their inner circle Could I join their organization? Could I move into their neighborhood? How is it that in New York City where I live, how is it that people who are outside of my social community at large, how could it be infiltrated? How don't you realize the chance, what could be going on? Could they be getting to know you because they want to know what you know? Could it be that they are doing their homework on your community about how to control you? You have people who even marry people from certain communities because they want to find out what makes you tick, what makes you live, what motivates you. And they write a story on you. They may even be a file, a personal file about you. I know it sounds wild, what I'm saying. Start thinking about in your life. Have you been in a situation and you wonder, in your back of your mind, you're thinking, why is this person here? And you don't want to be rude. You don't know why that thought came in your mind. You kept it to yourself, but you're even embarrassed about having that thought. What if your intuition was right about a certain situation? That you're living just a normal life, and you wonder why someone wants to befriend you? Why someone might move right in your neighborhood when they have the money, the resources to be somewhere else, to live somewhere. Believe me, if I had money, I am not going to live in certain neighborhoods, period. I'm being honest. But when someone who has the economic and social means to live somewhere else, but they decide to live and party with you in your domain, you should start asking questions. Start asking questions about that. Keep it to yourself. Keep your ears open the type of questions they start asking you. I remember I used to belong to a resort. I used to work at a resort, I should say. And I remember this person comes along, he was dressed like everybody else, but what they were saying. And I wonder who this person is. This is not like a statement of someone who's a part of, you're just there, you're a young person, you need to find a job, and hey, this one is available, and you got to pay your bills. But they're like asking these weird questions. I walked away from that person. I was feeling uncomfortable. Start asking questions. You can ask it to yourself. Start wondering what's going on. Don't you start to wonder why in certain areas, why it seems to be plagued? Maybe it's being plagued because information about you, because see, this is a warfare. It is a warfare. And it's played on many levels. And I think the signs of the time, it's about just that. The game of chess is being now getting to the final hour. And I just say, stand your ground and keep your eyes and ears open. And don't be so trusting. So what about this with religion? someone was sharing about, now again, your religion is your business. If it serves you, you serve it. But a person I was listening to also earlier today, that they are anointed, I believe. I think they're very sincere about their belief. I used to be a Christian, but life has, I had a paradigm shift in 2015. And I had to, what do you call it? The pieces no longer fit. And I started to ask questions, and I allowed myself to ask questions. See, I feel that a religion is a system of beliefs. It's something that helps you in life. But some religion, it gets warped, and it actually is a tool of slavery upon the person who practices it. It's being set up as a tool of slavery. It no longer liberates. It now controls you. It controls every action of you. And I think that's what has happened. See, spirituality is one thing. Spirituality and religion are two separate things. Spirituality and religion are two separate things. I think religion may have started out as a form of spirituality, but it got corrupted because it was hijacked. Religion was hijacked. It was fine-tuned to create it into a weapon to control your true spiritual self. Now, I used to believe in the Old Testament and about the Jesus, because I was told it was true. Now, you have other faith systems, scriptures that are thousands of years older than the Bible. And it's saying pretty much the same story about a Savior, about someone who was sacrificed and killed and raised from the dead. And the only reason why our religion now is one of the major religions on the planet, one of the three, the Abrahamic religions, are so powerful because of warfare. Warfare is what spread the Abrahamic religions. It wasn't something that liberated people historically. It was a weapon of controlling others into submission. And if you didn't submit, historically, you were destroyed. But it doesn't stop about what is true spirituality. How to use spirituality these days. Yeah, this is a warfare. How do we fight it? How is that you have people who talk about the character Jesus? Now, I love the composite of the character called Jesus, that we call Jesus. A beautiful fellow. But I believe that through an experience I had, it has me question. See, I don't believe that Jesus was blonde hair and blue eyes. Now, there's nothing wrong to have blonde hair and blue eyes. There's nothing wrong to be a European. But how could Jesus be a blonde hair? How could he be a European? When different scriptures and his relatives, people historically before Jesus, in his lineage, were people who were of color, confused him with an Egyptian. Didn't they say with Moses, I thought he was the Egyptian, blah, blah, blah. And I've been to Egypt, modern day Egypt. Those people are my color and darker. So how could you say that Jesus, and have on the wall a white Jesus with blonde and blue eyes? Someone is fooling you, and someone is using the story of Jesus to manipulate you to believe that everybody of that race is a type of Jesus, and to put you into submission, to control you. And then you start to wonder, how come you're not succeeding in life? Because you gave your power to that image of that blonde haired, blue eyed Jesus to control over your lives. I've been to churches where people weren't even allowed to buy things for their own home. They weren't allowed to get an oven in their home or refrigerator, because that meant they had to use their money to buy it, and the church wanted that money. I know, see, people are getting upset with me now. People are getting upset with me, and they're dropping offline. But see, I speak the truth. See, I speak the truth, people. See, I'm sharing this because I want you to start thinking on your own. I want you to think on your own. Now, you can believe in any God that you want to believe in. Believe in who serves you, who works for you. If it doesn't work for you, try something else. If worshiping the blonde and blue-eyed Jesus serves you, gives you peace, joy, harmony, etc., you continue to do what you're doing. But I'm just questioning, when you start to ask questions, how come serving a particular religion only serves certain people and not all? You have people in certain neighborhoods, they have more churches than they have businesses, and they're in utmost poverty. And then you have some, they only have one church per square mile. And they're in economic power. Same God, right? They're supposed to go, they believe in the same God. How come it's not working? So someone that was just watching today was mentioning, that they said that Jesus is coming soon and all this and that. Maybe so. We'll see. We'll see what if they come or not. But it doesn't answer. What? Okay, they were saying about that they're on an assignment, like God. Now I believe they are on an assignment. That the spirit. Now they're different spirits. And I'm not implying that the spirit that they are under is evil. No, I am not. But there are multiple spirits out there in the world. If you're receptive to certain spirits, they could tell you to move you to do certain things. And you may think sometimes it's your own idea, but it could be others outside of yourself that have an influence over you. And they can move you to do certain things for its purpose. And so they shared that when they started out on their channel, that they just felt that, God was moving them to do this and blah, blah, blah. And they said in one night, that person had achieved over 8,000 subscribers in one night. How did that happen? You have people out there who've been on for many years, and they don't even have 8,000. So how is this? So some people call it algorithms. Okay? You have people, institutions, that is like a network, or what you call intelligence community. You ever heard of that expression, the intelligence community? Intelligence community is a spy organization. Intelligence means gathering information through pretty much stealth means. And they have, like in the movie, the Jason Bourne series, they showed behind the headquarters of these intelligence agencies, and they have a network. People, they are in control of what you call the CCTVs that are out on the street. Um, they have access to if you all the banks. They can order the bank freeze someone's assets. They have, I think, access over, the signs. What do you call it? What do you call it? The street lights. They have access over everything. And then they have someone overseeing these people who are sitting out in a big, what do you call it, a workroom. What do you call it? It's like a mass room of computer terminals and headphones and this and that. Watch the movie, the Jason Bourne series. Watch all of them. And you see that it's a big operation out there. And they have their armies. And they sent them out to you. So again, going back with this YouTuber who, again, I love the person's work. But I don't hold to the same, the religion. I don't hold to the religion. He is, in my opinion, a very spiritual man. But he's also in the religion. And he's sharing that God has him and blessed him. See, that's just what's really funny about it. That not only was he moved to do a particular video, but he was also the proof was in what happened after. And what happened after was that he had all these people subscribing, and in one night he obtained 8,000 subscribers in one night. How did this happen? Well, these people of power had access and could move people to subscribe, I think. If they didn't want you to subscribe, they're not going to let you subscribe. You understand what I'm saying? If they didn't want people to subscribe, somehow you're not going to get the subscribership. So how come, if we all serve the same God, if I was into the religion years ago, and many people I know who are Christians, who are born in the church, and their lives are not anointed. It's like a death follows them, yet they're goodly people. They're goodly people who are struggling, who are in pain, who have sickness, like everything associated with them. Sickness. They give money. They give their time. How come Jesus did not bless them? I mean, yes, they had a job. They had a good job. But man, they were suffering. How is that? How is it that someone who is devoted to the God that they're talking about, that this other YouTuber talking about, and God responds in a different way over their lives? It is this thing that you have to start questioning about who God is. What is God? I think this whole thing is by beings, people who are high up, people who have access. You need to get down, baby? You need to get down? Sit down. Okay, baby. Okay, okay. She's just moving around. You okay, baby? Yeah. So you have to ask yourself, what happened? Same God, different outcome. Same God, different outcome. So it seems like that this God works like how the intelligence agencies act. They have the power to promote and demote. They have the power to promote. They say, hey, we can use this Christian so and so to stir people in this chess game to play the part of the good guy, and then we're going to promote people in this organization who represents the bad guy. Because both are being blessed. Both sides are being used. Think about it. Look about the people who are in office now, or the politics here in New York City. You have a lot of corrupt people who are in top positions, right? And then maybe you have in another community somewhere else people who represent a different faction, and they're in power. And then the two fight, right? That's what seems to go on. So it's not like you have a bad guy and a good guy. They're all the same people, but they're playing both sides of the matter. And remember the guy, the alternative truther, with alternative history or truther, who says that they're playing both sides, and we're in the middle. There's no supernatural being out there, in my opinion. But what I do believe is that you have people who have access to technologies, people who spy on communities, people who have an intent and they utilize their power to the fullest. You have people who are in charge of social media, what gets promoted, what gets demoted, especially these past 1.5 years. Remember, we couldn't even, you can't even say certain words. You can't even say certain words. I've had videos pulled down, and it's like they're giving me a, what do you call it, a timeout, and they lock my channel for 1 or 2 weeks. This happened about 3 times, and they were even videos that were old videos that I've done many years prior, and all of a sudden now it's not appropriate. Oh, we got you had this, but it was an old ass video. They could change the rules of the game. The system, can change the rules of the game. The rules of the game a couple of years ago, you can have the video that I had, and I was just basically asking questions. And then now with the new game, oh, you can't even inquire. It's that the topic is hands off. They could have just said, "Oh, we don't want you to have that video. I know it's X number of years old, but you can't talk about that." But instead, they pulled the video and they locked me off of my channel. There is a network out there, a network of individuals who infiltrate organizations, groups, communities, and somehow certain individuals somehow get in the center of it all. And I'm just staggered how they have access in the inner sanctuary and that you can't do the same. I can't go into certain communities, not with the way that I look. I couldn't get a job there. I couldn't move into the certain neighborhoods. I don't have access to even in certain organizations just because of what I am, what my gender is, period. And so why I share this is that, see, you have to start loving yourself how these other people seem to love their gender. See, yeah, my battery is getting low. Yes, I'm gonna be getting off soon. But either, let me keep on going. Um, you have to love yourself, people, and guard your home, your family, your friend, because you have outsiders. They could look like you, talk like you, act like you, claim that they belong to the same church or religion, but they are not your friend. And knowing them, it always seems to be a price to pay. Somehow we're giving of ourselves, but are they giving back to you? Are they? I say only give if they're going to give, and I'm not trying to imply that, but just start wondering why you have people who follow the rules, who do the right thing, but somehow the counterpart um, has um, power over you because you give it into them through your inaction. You were trusting. Even in the Bible, the Bible has it. The Bible teaches concepts, um, and in that aspect, I respect the Bible because it is a teacher of high wisdom. But how certain institutions um, utilize that truth could be utilized as a weapon against you to control you. Start asking questions. You allow them in your home. Oh yeah, what I was saying in the Bible there was he was a king, and he showed his neighbors, his political neighbors, in his sanctuary, and then God said, or some prophet asked, "Hey, wait a minute! You let these people in here? What did you show them?" He said, "I showed them everything." He said, "Well, you know what? You're going to lose everything. Anything you showed him will be taken from you." Because, see, he didn't use wisdom. He lacked wisdom, even though he had the anointing of God on him. Just because you have an anointing doesn't mean perfection. It just means that you have uh, some, think of certain favor by someone, but it's not perfection. No one's perfect. And he fell from grace and he lost everything. I'm tired of seeing, hearing about people And I say this to myself also, that we had believed in things that we saw. We were deceived, and we believed that others were a friend because maybe how they smiled at you, um, or you liked what they were wearing, or maybe they had nice jewelry, or whatever it is that took you. Find out your secrets, and then whammo, get you out, and then put their own in. And that's what's happening in the government. That's what's going on in the world. So it's time for praying for discernment, people, to fight the fight. At the beginning of this live stream, the dream that I had, that I was being challenged by someone, and I think the person was symbolic of the type of people that were around me growing up. And I was always afraid of confrontation. And in the dream, for the first time in my life, I said, you know something? You want to fight? Okay, let's get on. Let's fight then. You want to fight me? Okay, let's go for it. And we fought. I stood my ground, and I was very proud of myself, so to speak. I'm not a person of violence. I do not promote violence. But it's a time and season where you have to say enough is enough. You have people who all your life are trying to chastise you, trying to uh, abuse you, and you just say, I had enough. If you want to fight me, then let's get it done with. You know, whatever the outcome is what happens. But you say enough is enough. And that's what I'm saying what today is. It's enough is enough. Enough is enough. Stand your ground, mind your business, love yourself, protect yourself, protect your family. Be wary of people who are coming and want to come into your inner sanctuary, and you wonder why there's chaos going on in your life, in your community. You have people who are professional social saboteurs who go around and want, and this is the new warfare. So warfare is not the bombs. The new warfare is over your mind. It's deception. Yeah. So let me just see that message that someone wrote something. Yeah, Michael. Yeah, hey, how you doing, Michael? I don't know whether you're still on. Okay, Michael says, moreover, Moses was taken in by the Pharaoh family, so that is indicative of Moses' color as well as Joseph being elevated in Egypt as well. Yes, exactly, Michael. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing it. Yes, exactly. This wasn't a blind and blue. And again, and there's nothing wrong with being of any race. There's nothing wrong with being of any race. But when people manipulate and lie because they want to do social brainwashing, taking something that is of value, something that you value, twist it, distort it, so that you're going to not want to harm. See, if you think God is a white man with blonde and blue eyes, you'd be least likely wanting to strike when they strike you. Because you think, oh, you're going to be struck by God. I saw a video that someone was filming in West Africa. I think it was, I'm not going to mention the country, it was in West Africa. And he said, oh, I just saw Jesus. I just saw Jesus. He had visited this pl- this place. It was just some white dude wearing a beard. That's all. And he's probably dressed like that, like the Hollywood Jesus, because he knew that these people were, again, see, this is social brainwashing, was gullible because they believe what the Hollywood shows you, the Hollywood Jesus. So he dressed like that so he could get favor, and who knows what else. Don't you ever wonder why Africa, why Africa just doesn't seem to have it together? They have resources, they have um, continuity on that continent, but somehow they have not learned and mastered the trick of their enemies. Don't you wonder what's going on with them? That's because, see, their enemies are masters of deception. They're masters at it, and masters of this of changing the way you view yourself. You start to hate the way you look. Let me put it down. My doggy is. You want to get down? Sorry. Yeah, I gotta finish it. I want to hurry up. Yeah, you start to wonder. They're all in. It's a type of. Okay, let me open. She wants me to open the door. Yeah, those are my books. Let me get her out. Sorry. Come on. Okay. Sorry. Sorry about that. Oh, sorry. I gotta hurry. Yeah, don't you ever wonder, people, why people there in that continent, why don't they worship themselves? Why don't they practice religion the way they know how? But instead, they've adopted a Hollywood style Jesus, a God that doesn't look like them. Isn't that also a type of psychological warfare on the people? Why they don't want to strike their enemies down? Because they look like Jesus. So who they try to make the devil look like is someone darker, someone more indigenous. So they don't love themselves in Africa. They try so hard to look like a European. They're even bleaching their skin. God forbid. Many of them, they're straightening their hair, they're bleaching their skin. Many of them don't keep their African names, but European names. They're making themselves into something they are not. So how could they fight off their social enemies? You know who has the art of combating their enemies? People from Saudi Arabia, people from the Arabian Peninsula. They have learned the art of loving themselves. And they know, yes, they also are doing business. And they have a lot of Europeans that live in the Arabian Peninsula. What is that? I forget that place. Dubai, where Dubai is, that country, is for the rich, the super rich. But you know, they don't get citizenship. See, the Arab, the true Arab, not all North Africans are Arab. North Africans are not Arab. But you do have some Arabs that live in North Africa. But the true Arab, sorry, I have 5% time left on this thing, so I have to hurry up. Yeah. See, the Arab knows how to play the game. They learned the game of chess. So what they're doing, they know the time is short with regard to the oil. And so they're diversifying. See, I respect the Arab because of the wisdom that they have against their enemies. They never say anything bad about their enemies. They gather their money instead. So it's okay. Um, I know what you really think about me, and I know my time is short with the oil, but I'm going to create a playground for you to come in. You cannot do X, Y, and Z here. Yeah, one thing with the Arab, that they hold fast their customs. They don't let anybody disrespect them or their women. They protect their women from outsiders. Now, again, the women that don't have many rights. But either way, they protect what is inside their own boundaries. And they say, okay, we're going to allow you outsiders. They have them living in what they call compounds. See, they have enough knowledge to not have these people living next door to them. They live in what they call compounds. It's okay. You'll serve us where we need you, and when the contract is up, you get out. See, I don't have to like how they operate, but I respect that they respect their faith, their language, and their religion from outsiders. And the African needs to study the Arab in order to survive. They need to do that. Yep. You have to work very slyly, like the people on that continent who are thriving, the ruling class. There's a lot of poverty there, but the ruling class, what do you call the royalty there, is doing extremely well. But they too have to be careful because, see, there is a health problem in the Arabian Peninsula due to overeating. New money. The people there don't have to work. You have the citizens of these places in the Arab world, in the Arab Peninsula. They don't have to work. They get an allowance from the government. They get $60,000 a year. So they don't have to work. They stay at home, and they're getting obese, and they're getting diabetes. So they have the Arab world has to be careful because they're in self-indulgence. It's going to kill them too if they don't get on top of it. They have to be on top of it because their own pride and arrogance can destroy themselves from within. So either way, in order to survive, you have to know yourself and you have to love yourself. That's my doggy. You have to get down too. You have to get down. No, I get you. I'm sorry. Come here. Come. Okay. 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 Sorry. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, she had to get down. Yeah. So you got to be work smart. Yeah. And any of us. The African continent has to be on top of it because, see, deception works within. It destroys. It takes normal people and make you think that there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with your skin color or your hair. There's nothing wrong. And people could take something that's uniquely beautiful of you and then pervert it and make you feel like a freak. This is part of the deception, the multiple layered chess game on planet Earth. Yeah, you need to open your eyes, people. Love yourself, love your children, and just try to think ahead what could be happening in your life. The way you want to practice your spirituality, your religion, whatever you call it, is a personal thing that you decide for yourself. But just ask yourself, is it working for you? Okay? Thank you so much for listening. Those of you who like this content, you may wish to support this channel by PayPaling me. To do so, go to my channel, Spirit Journey, and on the banner of my channel on the right hand side, you will see my PayPal me link. Just click on the link, follow the prompt, and any amount would be greatly, greatly appreciated. I appreciate you in advance. Thank you again. Be safe, be well, hydrate, get your exercise if you can, okay? And just stay alert. Stay alert. There was never anything wrong with you people. There was never anything wrong with you. And with that note, I thank you all. Peace, love, joy, and power be unto you. Thank you for listening. Take care and enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Bye bye.